How to keep costs down during these hard times, part 4. How to keep costs down during these hard times, part 4. What's up, everybody? My name is Kier, and you are watching the important things that really matter today. Today, we're going to be talking about how to keep costs down during these hard times, part 4. Let's do this. All right. If you haven't watched part 1, how to keep costs down during these hard times, part 1 or part 2 or part 3, you need to go back and look at those things. Because you look at a combination of all these different videos can save you too much money. And after you do this for, say, like a month or so of saving, a couple of months of saving, you can have enough money from all the savings of watching these videos to have enough money to start a business. Okay? All right? Keep that in mind. It's very, very important. This is where you get the money to start your business with. Now we're going to go into part 4. Very, very important subject. How to keep costs down during these hard times, part 4. Now, this might be a controversial subject, as in part 2 is a controversial subject in keeping your dating costs down, okay? Part 2, I talked about that in detail. This other part, which I'm talking about right now, is where we are talking about dating a person that's in a lot of debt. Dating a person who is in a lot of debt. Dating a person who's in a lot of debt. Now, if you are dating a person with a lot of student loan debt, if you are dating a person who's in a lot of credit card debt, I was out with a person that had about $30,000 of credit card debt. Then another person had $50,000 of credit card debt. Then another person who had $60,000 of credit card debt. And the important thing to remember is this. If they have a lot of credit card debt, or they have a lot of student loan debt, or if they have a lot of debt from children, who do you think they're going to go to ask you for the money to help them to pay the debt off? Who do you think? Let's wait a few moments. Let's let the bell ring. Dong, 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 dong. Okay. What's your answer? Who do you think the woman is going to ask for money to help her pay the credit card debt, the student loan debt, the debt from children? Who do you think? You. That's right, you. She's going to ask you for the money. I remember I was out with a woman one time, somebody I was interested in, we were seeing each other for a little while. I come to find out she was in $50,000 worth of credit card debt. $50,000. 55, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay? And a woman was in $50,000 of credit card debt. The woman used to be married to a guy that was in the skilled trades. Now, if you're in the Metro Detroit area, if you're in the skilled trades and you happen to be working for the auto industry, you making good money, making really good money. Okay, if you're in the skilled trades and you're working in the auto industry, you are making really good money. So her husband was making good money and decided to marry her. Well, he didn't find out that she was in $50,000 of credit card debt. So I asked this woman, I was like, could you tell me, since you had a husband who was in the skilled trades, who was probably making some really, really good money if he was working for one of the big 3 automobile companies, could you tell me how come your husband did not help you, being his wife, pay off that $50,000? And she couldn't tell me why he wouldn't help her pay off the $50,000 in credit card debt. Well, his reason probably could have been he didn't make the $50,000 of credit card debt, so he shouldn't have to pay off the $50,000 debt. She's a big girl now. That could have been the reason. I don't know. That sounds like something that I might want to say. But I come to find out that she really wasn't in $50,000 worth of debt. It was more like $100,000 worth of debt. Because so she went and asked me, well, can you help me pay my $50,000 of credit card debt off? Well, you got to look at this yourself. One of the things you got to look at is that if you're with a woman that's in a whole lot of credit card debt, how did she get herself in a whole lot of credit card debt? She got herself in credit card debt because she probably was out there running the street. She got herself in a whole lot of credit card debt because she was buying clothes that she couldn't afford, buying jewelry that she couldn't afford, buying drinks that she couldn't afford, hanging out in the street. And so if you come to pay that $50,000 off, you're paying for her all the mistakes she did from running all that debts up for her being in the street. Do you really want to pay for somebody's debt from being in the street? Probably not. I wouldn't. So one of the things, so she wouldn't ask me, would I help her pay the $50,000 off? I say, hey, I got something better for you. What is it you have better for me? Hey, you ever think about going bankrupt? It's a good idea, very, very good idea. She's up and told me, I already went bankrupt. I said, are you serious? She said, then she went to explain, this is why you want to get to know a person. This is why you want to get to know a person. This is why you want to get to know a person. That's why you ask a person a whole lot of questions. I said, what do you mean you already went bankrupt? She said, well, she had $50,000, already had $50,000 credit card debt. $50,000, that's 50,000. She already had $50,000 in credit card debt. The bankruptcy wiped out the $50,000 in credit card debt. Then she turned around and ran the credit card debt back up to $50,000. So she really had been in $100,000 of credit card debt. So the question to you, and so the subject is how to keep costs down during these hard times. Part 4. If you are dating somebody who has, if you are dating somebody who has a lot of credit card debt, a lot of student loan debt, you know, you could be dating somebody that's $100,000 in student loan debt, or $200,000 in student loan debt, or $300,000 in student loan debt. Who do you think she's gonna ask to help pay her debt off? She's gonna ask you. Debt from children. She's gonna ask you. That's why you gotta ask yourself this question. Do you wanna really be bothered with somebody who has children already? Got a baby daddy? That's a whole new set of problems that you're going to have to deal with. Now, so you might be a man and you may only have $30,000 or $40,000 of debt total. You get with her. Let's say, for instance, you were dumb enough to marry this woman. You marry her. She got $200,000 in student loan debt, and you cannot file bankruptcy on the student loan debt. You cannot file bankruptcy on the student loan debt. Okay? You can't. So, you dealing with you got $40,000 worth of debt. You dumb enough to marry somebody with $100,000 or $200,000 in student loan debt that you can't file for bankruptcy on, because you can't file for bankruptcy on student loan debts. She may also have $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 in credit card debt. And each one of her kids, depending on what age they are, if they're young, you automatically assume that each kid is going to cost you $400,000 just to get that kid up to 18 years old. Now you got $30,000, $40,000 worth of debt. You get with this woman right here, and in her mind, she thinking, hey, I don't have to worry about that money no more because, hey, you're supposed to be a provider. She expecting you to pay all her debt off. The question, since the subject is how to keep costs down during these hard times, the question you should be asking yourself is, why are you dating a person who is in so much debt? I don't care if they're a professional or not. Why are you dating somebody that's in so much debt? Like when I found out that the woman that I was dating was in $50,000 in credit card debt. But which really was $100,000 in credit card debt because she filed bankruptcy and got rid of the $50,000. So now she's just only in $50,000 worth of credit card debt that she ran back up when she really actually initially was about $100,000. So that relationship didn't work out, thank God. Thank God. But because there's some men that help the women pay the debt off, and right after the men helped the women pay the debt off, all of a sudden the women didn't love them no more. You know, all of a sudden I don't love you anymore. What do you mean you don't love me no more? Well, I just don't love you no more. So, anyway, the point that I'm making is this. There's a lot of women that's all of a sudden gonna fall out of love with you as soon as you pay off their debt. Maybe they weren't in love with you to begin with. Maybe they was just looking for a sucker. Yep, they were looking for a sucker that they can lick.